we talked about a couple of things. What did we talk about?
Anarchism.
We did talk about anarchy. We talked about libertarianism. We talked about ads and trackers and Norway. Is that today? Yeah.
Yeah, the main story is Norway like telling Facebook they can't do
they were like, no, we will fine you money, real money, not monopoly. That's on today's not so critical update.
I feel like we have a lot of why do I feel like we have a lot of stories about Europe today? Have we done any stories about Europe today, or am I just making that up?
No, we've done a couple Europe stories, including this one.
Yeah, so here it's Meta's behavioral ads banned in Norway on Facebook and Instagram. And I feel like a lot of people think this is good news. I'm undecided.
Just before you dig yourself a hole, which maybe you weren't going to do this, but I thought I might try and subtly point out that Norway is not actually part of the EU. Just so you know.
Didn't I say Europe?
Yes, you did. You did.
Is it
I just want to make sure that those.
No, it's not part of Europe. Nope.
Norway's not part of Europe?
Nope.
What is it?
It's actually in Southeast Asia, if you would believe it.
Is that true? That's not true.
Holy fuck, Mike. Are you serious?
That's not true.
You are such an American. You can't say, is that true? You say, no, that's obviously not true. Was I convincing?
Why are you misleading me like this? You're an expert on the region. I assumed that you would.
I mean, why would I be an expert, Mike?
Not be lying to me.
So, look, Norway's part of Europe. They're also part of the Nordic European Alliance. Is that what it's called, Peter?
Yeah. The Schengen, and they've got Schengen, and they've got like freedom of movement and stuff like that. But they don't have to abide by like the GDPR and stuff like this.
But they have like better. Don't they have like really good privacy rules? Like they're sick with it, I think.
A lot of the Scandinavian countries do, and Switzerland does as well. But it's arguable whether they're better or not. They're just different, and they're fairly strong. Yeah. I don't know too much about Norway's specific ones. I'll be honest.
It's such an irrelevant country. It's like 3 people, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of the notable thing about this is that it's not GDPR. It's So yeah, the EU recently made they gave them a $410 million fine and said that you have to change your ways, naughty Facebook, and of course nothing much has happened about that. But this is someone outside of the EU who has basically said the same thing. Although they're saying do it or you'll face fines of up to $100,000 a day. Oh no!
Wait, that compounds fast. I mean.
No, it's only 100,000 a day. It's not. Compounding.
Okay, it's not compounding, but that multiplies fast. So that's 30 million a year.
Yeah, which would take them 10 years to get to the same amount as the single fine from the GDPR from the EU.
For Facebook. When we've talked about some of the GDPR stuff in the past, I think there was a hope that it would spread, and that I think that. So in terms of like penalties that cause broader change, right? We talked about the iPhone being required to have USB-C, and ultimately they're all going to have USB-C because they're not going to have manufacturing just for one area. And I think there was some sense that maybe if Facebook was forced to do this in Europe, they just would do the same thing in America and other countries if there are any. And it seems like that's not really turning out to be true.
Yeah. I think it feels like they're just ignoring it everywhere.
GDPR was a really, like, a lot of people bet on, I guess, or thought that it would start to kind of proliferate across the world. People would pick up on like copycat compliance and regulation. And California and a couple other states did. But I think in America specifically, America is so divided and so not in tandem and not in sync in regards to states that like it just wouldn't work unless it comes on the federal level, and too many money hungry politicians don't won't ever let this pass.
Well, yeah, I think that's true. I think definitely there's the influence of lobbyists, and the corporations who fund the politicians are going to be against it. I think the other thing that is just going to continue to be a problem is just everything is going to be politicized. And even though, 80% of the country might be in favor of increased privacy protections, somehow the politicians are going to turn it into this partisan issue, and nobody will get it. I mean, we have so many issues like that right now where massive, overwhelming majorities of the country want certain things, and we just can't get it done. And this probably falls in that same category.
I think that there's been maybe more laws put through than you might imagine, John. A lot of the different states are looking at privacy regulations that are, effective to one degree or another. Not like a critical mass yet, but and places that I personally. Sorry,
I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to say, but we're going to talk about an article in the next day or two that will kind of almost prove my point a little bit. So that they might be doing some, but they're not doing enough, and it doesn't actually matter. And gross privacy violations are occurring in this country every day. And they're trying to find new ways to invade our privacy. And I think we've talked about this a bit. I think this actually might be a mic point that I'm about to use, which kind of sucks.
Wait. Sure, just consider carefully whether you actually want to do this or not. We actually have some subscribers on this channel, and I don't know if they'd be happy with the turn of events. By the way, just to interrupt you, sorry, John, but we love you, subscribers. And if you're not subscribed and you want our love too, hit that subscribe button, guys. Yeah.
Damn, you're fast.
Or I'll be Grumpy Thomas the Tank Engine.
Don't make him ask twice.
No, we genuinely appreciate all our subscribers. We love them. Yes.
We do. I do think this is a mic point. The reason it can't ever work in America is because of the one, like you said, Mike, the lobbying coming from these massive corporations, and then the commercialization of our data and how it's brokered and sold and handled, and every single aspect of this country, business and government, uses this data to some degree. Obviously, a mom and pop sandwich shop isn't going to use any, like maybe they will actually, like maybe through Google ads and some tracking and ads, they could be using this data, targeted data. So like, it's so intertwined and woven into society here that I don't think we can get rid of it. Like,
for capitalism.
I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it. And like, maybe if something like, have you guys heard of conscious capitalism? Something I was made aware of recently. It's pretty cool.
Woke.
It's basically like,
sounds too woke.
Okay, all right. It's basically
we don't do that here.
Yeah, you're really loud, Mike. You're just like you said that. You were like woke, and you're like
whole lot of game.
Yeah. So it's basically like
I probably was just overwhelmed with emotion.
Totally.
Whenever you get emotional, you just turn up the gain on the mic. Like,
but here, I'll just pull up the definitions.
Guys,
capitalism.
I'm really feeling this.
Research. This is what
the businesses should operate. They should operate ethically while they pursue profits. This means they should consider serving all involved stakeholders, including their employees, humanity, and the environment, not just their management teams and shareholders. And
I'm instantly skeptical, but
sure, 100%. But if you could get this type of movement going, where people rather take their business to conscious capitalist companies instead of just capitalist companies, I mean, slowly but surely, we could see something like this happen. Designed with privacy by default. Okay.
Never gonna happen.
All right. Well, it was worth a pitch.
I mean, this is the kind of like libertarian utopia argument. It's like, well, if only there were no rules, then people would just do the right thing and corporations would be responsive to that. Like, no, that's never going to happen.
Yeah. Sounds like a mini-archy.
What's that?
It's like it's a offshoot of anarchy, where the government has only like municipal and like super limited civil power.
John looks like an anarchist.
What?
I could see you at a protest with a black mask on half your face. Like,
is that what an anarchist is? An anarchist just has a black mask.
Sure.
Just burn the house down, burn the system.
I think so.
Honestly, I think anarchy is really cool if you're 14, and that's where it ends.